stream. Well, Jessica Wilcom. That's what she told me her name was. Just now I woke up from a dream. Started off with a couple that ran into somebody. A gangster on the street or something. And it's a couple that got sent to theirs. It's like this incredible action scene. And go to meet up with them to get the thing back. And we're going up the stairs to go to this place to meet them. The door's open, but nobody's there. We go inside. We see a group of people upstairs at this table. And they notice us, and they start to come down. A couple of them, and they come out, hold the door, go upstairs. And this group of guys. And it's just me and them in this room for a second, and we sort of sit there on this table, and I guess I realize I've got a moment, so I put like an AirPod in a box, an open box. I open the window and I jump down the window, jump down out of the window, and go to the ground floor and make my way around the building and find an open door and go in it. And somebody's pursuing me eventually. They come in, I jump over a wall. I'm hanging onto the wall on the other side. And this guy comes in, he's looking for me, and he goes to the other side of the room, opens the door, looks around. He turns back around and he starts to go back out the door. The entrance. And I jump on him from the wall. And he's got 2 guns. I'm able to disarm him. He might have let off a round during the struggle, but ended up like slitting his throat and on his back or whatever. It's like a meat processing facility or something, so I to hide the body, take his guns, or his gun or whatever. And there's 2 other people. And I've got to fight them. They put up a good fight. Probably at that point they get a round off or something. It's like one of the most intense scenes. I don't know why my mind played it out, but I ended up somehow taking those guys out. He's a short, fat guy, like kind of animal looking, and him. He pulls out a tiny pistol. Almost gets me. I think I shoot him with one of the guns that I got from other people, or threw a knife at him or something. Ninja star, I don't know. Get him on the ground, and then I feel this pain. I look down, and he has these like claws in his arms, and he's stabbed through my. And somebody had stabbed me through the hand with a pencil at some point too. Why did I dream like such a violent dream? This action scene for some inexistent movie. I can't remember how it started. And keep recording these kinds of dreams. I wish I could remember more about Jessica Wilcome and how I met her and what she looked like. This is Tuesday. It's like 7:15 a.m. One, two, day 3, no busting. Definitely easier to wake up. I didn't get to bed till like midnight last night. I stayed up. It was so hot up here, and I was like worried that I wouldn't be able to sleep comfortably. This fan that I had outside in the little house, and that thing pushes air, let me tell you. And I woke up around 5 and unplugged it because it was so loud. Coulda, shoulda, woulda stayed up. I thought about it, but when I laid down here last night around 10 and turned that fan on, realized it was bearable. It's probably in the mid 70s up here right now. Yeah, 75, I nailed it. It's just comfortable enough for me to be laying here with the covers on. With the goober. But I laid here last night. I let myself go down the rabbit hole of social media. And just it's wild. There's like good news and bad news, and it's indeterminate whether or not America's over yet. But as somebody I read put it, we're like on life support. "62 out of 300 some stages of Project 2025 have been implemented already. We got the governor of Michigan calling for protests and riots in the streets. Not riots, but demonstrations. Protests. Governor. State. I guess it's like people are choosing sides, you know. There's definitely more of us than them. But I definitely feel like I'm making the right decisions. Like, I told Sarah Sunday that I don't want to talk to her anymore after we found sex Saturday night, and I just felt totally exhausted and depleted and not really happy. Not good. I realize that's not what I want. I want somebody that I vibe with, that I connect with, that I feel emotionally connected to. I'm sure that's what she wants too, but I just feel like the vibe is off. I feel like there's like doesn't feel right. Feels wrong. And then Kate, similarly, you know, we cuddled a couple weeks ago, we massaged each other, and it was nice. I want to see her again, or at least I think I'd like to see her again. I'd like for her to be okay, but the fact that she's like, she seems to support RFK, and she's like, well, he's like creating a list of autistic people and hiring some guy who's not a doctor who's going to try to prescribe us hormone blockers. It's like, nope, that's not it either. I guess the only way for these people to get it is for us to just like not hang out with them, not talk to them. You know, they're going to be totally isolated in their cult before they realize, like, oh, okay, I'm wrong. I'm in a cult. And of course, Kate's not like in the cult, but she's like, you know, you can't pay attention to it. You gotta just get your vibration up. And I can't say that she's totally wrong, but I'm also like, I'm not of the prosperity gospel mindset that like it's just me. I just need to get my vibration up and like ignore the facts and science. Like, no, this, you know, she sends me stuff like, I saw a video last night. It reminded me of her. Some guy was like spraying sand or some type of powder on a surface, and I'm sure they were going to play sound up to it, and it was going to make a pattern, you know. And I could just imagine her sending me that and being like, see, the universe is magic. And I'd be like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but also, no, that's science, that's physics, you know. And she'd sent me the pyramid with the pillars underneath it a few weeks ago, and that seems to have been debunked, even though maybe there are pillars underneath the pyramids, and we are going to be visited by aliens here soon. But also, it's like, went to that community roundtable Saturday, and you know, maybe those people, I've wondered if they are naive, and if like, you know, they think that just by being rebellious this is going to work. Because I'm like, we're going to need everybody. We need to be talking to people. Like, it reminds me of the makerspace and how it was about to be over, and like how I ended up having to talk to people with money, you know, and be like, help us, please. This is important. And I kind of feel like I need to do something similar here now. But in my dream last night, at one point, I feel like I was talking to somebody about the mayor's office and how, yeah, it was like I was down at the Entrepreneur Center, and I think I was talking to people from the Forge. It used to be Fort Houston. I was getting emotional. I was raising my voice, and I was talking about the mayor probably getting rich, you know, getting wealthy off of all this fucked up stuff that's happening. You know, like most politicians seem to when they get in office, but it's like all hands on deck, you know. And that's what I don't know if the shelves are going to be empty like COVID, but it definitely feels like that. COVID took, was it 3 years? Also, I don't know what that sound is, but there is something out there loose that keeps moving. It must be the whole awning. There's like a mini awning. Probably needs to be reinforced. But yeah, last night I tried turning the heat on up here to see if the air blew, and it did. So I'm now of the opinion that it might not be the fan that has an issue, that it might be the condenser or the refrigerant that needs to be repressurized. But I don't even want to turn the air conditioner on because I know my bill's going to be like exorbitant. So I'm going to try to keep doing the fans, and I'll just hang out in the basement. I gotta find a gig. I will find a gig. You will find a gig. We'll find a gig. We will find a gig. We are okay. I'm okay. You are okay. In fact, today I'm planning on applying to jobs and probably even taking my resume into some places and just dropping it off. Not probably. I have no choice. It's taking everything I can do not to check my phone right now. I checked my horoscope last night. Can't remember what it said. I'm in this weird place where it's like I want to smoke ganja again. I want to not take my medication. I want to believe that like it's not gonna hurt me and that I'm better and that I've got a handle on things and that I'm getting brain fog, that it doesn't make a difference whether or not I smoke because I have it anyway, you know. But I also know that like had I stayed up as late as I did last night and I've been smoking ganja, there's no way I'd be up like I am right now and like I was at 5 a.m. Like I could have gotten up. But I wanted to get my rest and I wanted to enjoy the fan or the cool, like, you know, enjoy the present. Like I had the ability to, and I'm enjoying my dreams too. That's the other thing. It's just so wild to be having these dreams. Yeah, hopefully I don't have to like actually fight anybody like I was dreaming about. It was just exciting. I kind of want to like make a movie, you know. I guess that's what I'm doing. I've always wanted to make my like IMDb, and I have one of the movies I was in, Bye Bye Byes, and then I would love to get a copy of the Monk that I was in. I did some stunts for, and I feel like there's likely at least one other thing that I'm forgetting, but maybe not. I guess there's the childhood Christmas Carol thing I was in. There's a music video. What is it, baby? You got it rough? One of the things I was reading last night on the internet was like, you know, about Kanye's tweets. I think it was a meme. It was like a fake tweet of him saying that he got his jaw wide shut so he would stop sucking dick. And he couldn't stop. Which is fucked up to joke about. And somebody in the comments was like, this is fucked up to joke about. Childhood. COCSA. Something like that. Children of childhood. Victim. I don't know. And it hit me like, oh, you know, so much of my behavior, my sexual deviancy, because like I kind of feel like okay, so I was thinking about how I had an experience as a kid. This is definitely like therapy session stuff, but it struck me like, oh my gosh, was I abused? I guess I've always just kind of thought about it as something that like kids do. But then of course, you know, I had gone on to perpetuate that kind of behavior to echo it. And then as I got older with girlfriends and one guy, I just like selfish behavior, but I guess it's like the saying, hurt people hurt people. And it struck me like, man, I probably should have been in therapy. I never have talked to a therapist about what happened to me and all the things that I've done in my life, but it was just like this moment, like I kind of feel free, realizing like that wasn't my fault, and that my brain was kind of screwed up from that point thereafter, and that now, of course, as an adult, I know better, so I will do better. But I think that might have been kind of the moment, you know, like I needed to make the realization to continue to heal and to grow and to step into this next chapter of my life to evolve. And I've been doing these exercises and my neck feels like it's been getting stronger and straighter, along with the pain that was in my side, my abdomen, stomach, that I kind of connected with like my root chakra of sorts. I'm like, oh my gosh, are my chakras about to align finally? I kind of can feel it coming actually, where it's like it's gonna just like ring out through my body and into reality. And I'll be okay. I don't know what that is. I think that's probably the bus, huh, Dottie? Do you want lovin's? Is that why you're crying? You're like, why am I not getting lovin's? Oh, it's the garbage. I forgot. It's garbage day. I don't think I've got even a bag of garbage right now, but I will start to fill up my garbage can. Clean out the house. Clean out the little house. I have a feeling I want to end up with a number of roommates in this house that will turn into like Makerspace number 3 with beds and gardens, more gardens. It would be like sing about play on words, you know, like the third mic. Third make. It's already got a name, Dogonash. Well, I talked to my buddy yesterday afternoon, my landlord, for like an hour, and it basically derailed me from productivity for the rest of the day because I just got emotional. I felt a sense of relief. I just wanted to enjoy it, you know. But yeah, he was just like, everything's gonna be okay, you know. He wants me to be okay. And I guess he sees my potential. He's told me before. He thinks I'm gonna do great things. He knows it. And it's just incredible, man. It's incredible. Oh. But yeah, probably gonna end up starting to sleep like downstairs and maybe even in the basement. Because like I said, I don't want to, I'm convinced that if I turn the air conditioner on, it's just gonna constantly be on. And it's gonna take so much energy to cool this place that it's gonna end up costing me like hundreds of dollars a month, and I don't wanna pay that right now. I can't afford it, you know. But luckily, I can afford to pay a couple hundred bucks a month. Utility bills if I have to. I told him I took out a title loan. He was like, are you going to be okay? And I was like, I know I'm going to be okay. I'm not happy about it. I'm not proud. But I'm confident that I'm going to be okay. You know, I'm getting better at not freaking out, you know, and that's the thing. I think I guess more than anything, I've needed to like, God, look at this beautiful dog. I've needed to practice and gain the ability to like, you know, she reaches her paw out to me like, no, don't stop. Don't leave me. I'm not going to leave you. I love you. Soon we're also going to buy you a doggy door. Because you're going to need it if your daddy's got to go to work. God, dude. This dog alone is like, don't worry, well, everything's going to be okay. Sometimes it takes the universe a little while to rebound, you know? Like, when I first moved in here, and my girlfriend was going to move in here with me, and then she didn't, you know? It was kind of my fault, too. But I remember when she was, like, getting her stuff to leave after being there for a week. I would have gone down that way, but Buddha nature. She was not deliberately trying to. I was worried the phone was going to fall. She was gathering her things up, and I was like, if you want to leave, then leave. But I guess she wanted me to, like, stop her, which is what I should have done, because now, of course, like, it didn't take me long to be like, oh my gosh, I regret not stopping her. I miss her. The bills are exorbitant. Could have saved up tens of thousands of dollars the last couple of years if I had somebody to share the bills with, you know, and put a down payment on this house. But I don't know if I would have gotten I don't know if I would have realized what I've realized in the last 12 hours, and if I would have gained the ability to regulate my emotions like I have in the last 12 weeks, you know. It's really quite astounding, the experiences I've been having and that I've had this far. I mean, as stressful as it's been. Okay, so it's 78 in the hallway up here, which means I'm probably taking my laptop downstairs. I guess I can try pointing a big fan on myself while I work in my office. It'll probably be bearable. I don't see a pee puddle over there, so it looks like maybe the Gooby stayed up with me all night. If she'd have gotten up and come downstairs, I don't know if I would have heard her. I might have felt her, but that fan is loud, which actually makes it kind of easy to sleep, to be honest. It's kind of pleasant, kind of nice, kind of effective. Oh, look at the blackbirds. It's adorable. This is the one thing I can say. Having mode that I shouldn't be surprised about, but like after mowing, like there's, I guess, whatever, you know, they're after is easier for them to get to, because the birds are like on the ground, you know. They're like, oh hell yeah, we can get to, I don't know if it's like seeds from the grass. I got a buddy, David, who's incredible. I need to hit up, among other things and people. The company I sent my resume to last week in my portfolio, that I worked on for weeks. You're a good baby. You can go potty. I don't know if they're gonna hit me back up. I don't know if my portfolio was good enough or not. I do feel like probably at least dozens of other people. I don't know, because I feel like a lot of people, they said on LinkedIn they clicked on the job, so I assume that they tried to apply, they maybe applied, but like also, I'm so sorry. I also think that maybe part of the gas experience has to do with me consuming. Some of the beans that I've been cooking haven't been getting totally, I think they're like still a little bit raw, a little bit too firm, and I'm like, I think that's known to cause gas. So I just need to do a better job. I think it's like the kidney beans or something. Do a better job of getting those beans cooked, because the rest of the beans cooked fine. Daddy, come. Oh, stay. There you go. Good girl. Let's go through the. No, we're not going to the little house yet. We can open it up later if we want to. For now, we're just going to do the grounding walk, per usual. What was I saying? Good girl. Gassy. I just took my medication. Just talking about. It's an anthill. Apparently dowsing rods are pseudoscience. So me interpreting this an energetic channel thing going on, woo-woo thinking, but here we go, the best part, waking up here. Oh yeah. What the fuck was I talking about, thinking about? Yeah, you know, maybe, yeah, considering the fact that they had the job up for like a month and then they reposted it, like maybe it's the case that there was 100 other people the country over, like getting a portfolio together and preparing to apply for that job as well as me, but I kind of think that maybe there's likely only a few of us that actually got a portfolio together and submitted it, you know? Like maybe I'd say I do have a shot, and I would love to get a call from them, an interview. And there's another job, same position, same role with a different company. I need to finish my application for, but they want the portfolio in the form of like a document. I submitted the one portfolio as a website, so I need to get that done today. It's my intention. And then the other application would be another portfolio, a bunch of other jobs. It's crazy because like every time I apply for a job now, I feel like I've got to tailor my resume basically for every job. Like I don't feel like I can just submit my resume anymore. I feel like it's got to be, they want to know, which it makes sense, you know. It makes sense. It's just wild though, because every other job I've gotten in the past, I've just submitted my portfolio, and it's like they don't really care. It's like once I interview, they're like, okay, this guy's smart, he can do the job, and I get the job. But that maybe would explain why my career has been kind of at the level it's been for so long, kind of stagnant-ish. Not really. Maybe I'm just a late bloomer. The other thing, my arm is sore. Is that from the exercises? And my calf has been sore, which I thought was from my ride Sunday with Dottie. I don't know how I got sore. The only thing I've done is my like basic exercises in the morning. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to get up earlier and enjoy the cool temperatures. But honestly, this is just fine. This is quite glorious. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so grateful to have woken up and to be alive and to be able to make sure my gooby's taken care of. And to have made the realizations that I've made and have such amazing friends. I saw my friend Nelson yesterday from Mandala. Talked about him moving in with me maybe, and maybe some other people, making this like a housing co-op. I want to buy it, you know. Building the wall around the property so, you know, we can all hang out, have privacy, maybe trying to acquire the neighboring properties that have been vacant for years before they buy them and build apartments, make the neighborhood even more crowded, make the road even more dangerous. Like, this should be like a park of sorts for the neighborhood to enjoy, you know. We're gonna have the housing co-op on the property, but then like other people can come and walk around. You gotta pick up your dog poop, right? Is that gonna be the rule? If everybody's walking their dog at that point, you're gonna need to pick up the poop. I mean, you know, I'm not planning on picking up Dottie's poop, but I guess she'll just have like the front yard, you know. I don't know what's gonna happen, what we're gonna do. I'm just going with the flow. I have faith that everything's gonna be okay. And like my friend Kate has been saying, even though I think it's a little bit crazy and woo-woo, like I do think that the universe is like a mirror, and then it reflects what's inside of us. And I'm getting to this point where I'm at peace, you know. Like it would be harder, of course, if I had no money and my gas was getting cut off tomorrow. I'd be stressing it, but I know I have enough. I have my needs taken care of. I have food. Like that's the other thing. Last night, when I sat down to make dinner and eat, I made a ton of rice, stir-fried rice. I added a bunch of peppers and some tomatoes. And I've definitely been thinking it'd be cool to have some eggs mixed in. But thinking about getting some chickens. That'd be dope. Oh. We'll get there. We might need to get there sooner rather than later, but because, there are reports that cargo ships have been bringing empty containers to our ports, and that we are likely, that's what I was saying earlier, like we might be seeing empty shelves in the very near future, the next few weeks. And it's like COVID all over again, Except this time, let's see, if we had an election in 2024, we had an election in 2020, so it would have been 2016 that Trump was elected, and it wasn't until 2019, 2020 that COVID happened. So it took 4 years into his term for us to have the empty shelves and the chaos. Probably should get my LLC so I can get some PPP loans. I should have had my LLC already. Maybe that's the other thing I should focus on today. That could make things easier just entirely, But file my taxes. I'll ask DeepSeek or ChatGPT. I don't know if I'm going to renew my ChatGPT subscription or not. I might do one more month to see if it's helpful throughout this month. It definitely is kind of therapeutic to talk to sometimes and helpful. Why aren't you pooping in your designated spots? I guess she's confused about. There used to be just tall grass everywhere. Now that I mowed, but I don't normally walk where she just pooped. She pooped in the middle. Good girl. But yeah, it would be wild if we have, like maybe this time they're like, oh, we know what to do now. We're going to do COVID. We're going to do it right. We're going to take the power this time. Because last time COVID happened, and then there was George Floyd and a slew of other extrajudicial killings that led to protests, and it was just crazy, wild times. And I could see them having experienced that and been like, oh, we know what to do this time. Like, we're going to be ready. We're going to make the best of it this time. Because last time, I think they, like a lot of people got big old loans and stuff, and they made the best of it. I think, seems like they did. I could be wrong. Of course, that led to ungodly inflation. So we don't want that again, but, I don't know if that's within our control or not. God, man. I love these morning walks. There's something about my bare feet on the ground that is just incredible. But the other thing, I was going to look at my foot earlier. It's like healing. My foot seems to be healing, and I guess it's a right brain thing. But that leads me to the next thing. It's like my art, the movies, the music, the little sculptures, and like we're gonna be sharing that. How are he and I on almost the exact same schedule? My neighbor, he just got out to walk his dog, just like yesterday when I was walking Dottie, and she stopped and was like looking at him. Like literally, right? It's like the exact same time. 8 a.m. I don't know what time it was yesterday. I thought it was earlier, but same. So odd. There's no way he's like waiting on me to start my walk, to take his dog on a walk, is he? Surely not. I do want to ask him though where he's been. I'm glad to see him, honestly, because I had said something to my neighbor Mary a few weeks ago. Our other neighbor was out there with her I'm hesitant to say his name because if I start saying everybody's names, you'll be able to pinpoint where I live. But I was like, yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time, like since January. And the guy goes, Trump might have got him. I'm like, oh God, I hope that's not the case. We didn't get sent to El Salvador or something. I guess he was just on vacation or whatever. But yeah, I could see a doggy door in the future. I could see bricks in the future, brick molds, brick designs, LLC. Is this a crystal ball? Abundance, wealth. Imagine if I have a good job, a sense of abundance, and roommates, social interactions. But yeah, oh my God, I showed it in the past. I've got a little bit. Maybe I need to do some like lavender oil or oregano oil, because I do have a little bit of still like the it's still like the skin is kind of raw, but it's not athlete's foot, I don't think, because every time I put athlete's foot cream on it, it gets worse. I don't know what it is, but I took a super hot shower yesterday, and I think that makes it worse, honestly. So maybe today I'll take a cool or cold shower even, and we'll see how that works. As much as I want to take a hot bath. It's already hot out here though. Speaking of hot, it's a little cloudy though. Let's check the weather real quick. I don't know what else to say other than the fact that oh, I got a call from TikTok's recruitment department. Yeah, I believe that. Work from home job. That is ridiculous. And my buddy called me yesterday as well. And my phone's still on Do Not Disturb. I haven't gotten an email about that job yet. Not surprising. Like my brother said, I do expect, like, it could take them a couple weeks to get back to me. Would not be surprised if it took them that long to look at my application. I don't know what this piece of mail is that I'm expecting today. It looks like a AAA life insurance policy offer. Let's see. The Gmail emails, pretty dry. Cool. Waste of time checking them pretty much. Text from my buddy. People thinking about how people relate to others and what you can glean about their thoughts from their reactions. If people focus on monetary reasons for things, it probably is how they view the world. I think it's a shame that people learn about money at such a young age. It kind of forces a zero-sum game attitude onto people. It's taken me 50-ish years to unravel that preconception. It's just so funny to me that I sat down last night and tried to eat so much food. I made more food than I could eat, but I ate as much of it as I could. I actually got a couple pieces of bread out with the intention of like making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something kind of as a dessert, and I ate so much of the beans and rice that I was almost uncomfortable. and it's just so funny because he, like my dad, so many people are like, I've always been like super interested and like motivated by sex, and I'm at a place right now where I'm like celibacy, which makes it even more ironic that the project I'm working on for him is sex toys. But I'm gonna call my buddy back, see what he's probably like, did you hear back from him yet? Be like, no, I'm not expecting to. It's okay.
Good morning, Dr. Pepper.
Hey, Paul. Sorry I missed you.
No problem. How are you? What's new?
I'm well. Not too much new. I mean, definitely not like I haven't won the lottery or anything kind of new, but I am doing quite well. It's strange. The one thing I will say is new. It seems like I can't say I've gained mastery over emotional regulation, but that's been the thing that I've thought a lot about in the last few weeks, and I feel like I'm grateful for everything I've experienced in that at this point I feel like I finally, and it's such a simple solution, you know, it's really just a matter of like taking some deep breaths, you know?
Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's funny. If I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But when I worked for Warner and Swayze between 1980 and 82, I was hired as a service engineer, and eventually I wound up with 3 guys working for me, 2 or 3, I can't remember. And the company, which was Warner and Swayze, which was at the time owned by Bendix, required that you have training as a manager, which is, you know, you just didn't get put into it. You were told this is your new role.
Uh-huh.
And so the guy we referred to as the shrink, who was actually a psychologist,
Okay.
came in with a half a day of testing about who you were.
Cool.
Really pretty, really good. And I enjoyed it because I like taking tests. I've always tested well. I read fast. And after he did it, you know, they did it like a half a day battery of written tests and an interview and some questions and so on. He came back and he said, you know, the problem you're going to face in your whole life is that when presented with a set of different problems, you're going to come to the answer first. You have that type of quick mind. And as a result, the people you work with will resent you. Because either you'll think you're talking down to them, or that you're smarter than them. And you're not smarter than them, you're quicker than them. And that's the difference. And you have to understand the difference. So in a meeting where there's a lot of things going on, don't just blurt out the answer, even if it's the right answer. Let them come to it gradually, and they will help. They will like you for your guidance and your pointing out problems that they might not have seen, which will guide them down the path to the answer you want in the first place. And interesting insight because, you know, and I can remember a scene in 7th grade. It was there was a story of 10 pages in a book, and then you got questions about it. And my hand was always the first one up because I have that kind of strange eidetic memory sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know, but people then like, okay, Einstein, you know, then if it's a problem that requires some research, I might not be the best guy. So, you know, managing yourself is an interesting thing.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you reminded me of, speaking of what's new, the one thing that is new since we've talked last that I'm very, I guess you could say, passionate about. It has definitely kind of like lit the flame, so to speak. It makes me, you know, I feel grateful to be a part of it and happy. It seems like completely necessary at this point. But Saturday, I'd been invited to what was called a community roundtable at a place just down the road, down Dickerson, closer to town, called Dark Matter. And I've known of the place for a number of years. It's been there for a while, and they do shows there, concerts and stuff. And they during COVID, they had started doing like a free food store, like a free food grocery store for people who needed it. And I just and a few weeks ago, a buddy of mine, who one of these days you might meet. Hopefully you will. Nelson. He's been leading the organization known as Mandala, as we call it, and the goal of which is to 3D print affordable housing and build community. And he invited me there a few weeks ago they had co-working time. They do it on Mondays. And so I went there and saw him yesterday, but Saturday they had a community roundtable that he invited me to. That he came to, and a number of other people from different organizations, mostly nonprofits around town, attended as well. There was a group there representing, they represent or help folks who speak Arabic and I guess whatever they can, but particularly legal issues, along with like mothers in particular who, I didn't realize this, but apparently if you have a baby at the hospital, they won't let you leave without a car seat. So they accept donations of car seats and fundraise for car seats to provide them to families who have babies that can't afford them, so they can leave the hospital with their kid. And there was people representing the people that work with homeless people, and like the food thing. They have like a community fridge. They're looking for a place for. There was a group there that really it was interesting to me. It was called Resource Generation Nashville, and the girl, it's like she said, we all went around the room at one point and kind of gave a little bit about the organization we're with. She was like, we are folks who come from privilege who want to be able to help. We help, like oftentimes we can help with financial assistance, but it's like essentially, I guess, woke middle-class white folks, and I thought there was a guy there from the Socialist Rifle Association. There was a guy from like the Communist Party of Middle Tennessee. All of us, pretty stereotypical, I guess, of what you would expect us to kind of look like and be doing in a way. But just all these different groups, like disability groups, like people represent folks with disabilities, all these different groups. North Nashville community groups, and it started off with this presentation about mutual aid, and the I guess the motto of the day and the mission is like solidarity, not charity, and just talking about how like activists have been targeted over. They had a little spiel about the Black Panther Party and how their coup de grace or whatnot, their fatal mistake, it seems, was them trying to provide free breakfast to kids before school, and that made them, that made the FBI like label them #1 threat in the U.S. And then they apparently there were, I'd heard all this, cops peeing on the food in the church or whatever, and there was a Nashville Peace and Justice Center person there, and it was just really interesting about a number of like LGBTQ and trans rights groups, organizations, and it was very encouraging to have been in the presence of all these people, and I can't help it. I come away and I'm like, man, like there's not enough of us. Like these folks think that we're just going to show up with like, a few dozen people in protest what Trump's doing and not get mowed down by his people. Like we got another thing coming. We've got a lot more organizing to do, but. And at one point, the reason that I was reminded of this is like they've given this presentation and they started talking about operational security at some point, like how, I don't know, I guess you just want to keep things in mind when you're doing this kind of organization, and you don't want to...
You're right. I mean, there's a guy at school, he's graduated now, his name is Zaki, and he is a Kurd. He's born here, but he's part of the Kurdish group that's in Nashville. And I don't know much about the Kurds. They're an ethnic group separate from, they're not Arabs, they're Kurds, okay?
Yeah.
They're a different ethnic group. But he had one of those Palestinian headscarves that
Yeah.
he was wearing it, and he said, it's part of my heritage. I said, you want to be careful about that, because people will misunderstand why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay? In the right context. I mean, it's almost like, for example,
Uh-huh.
You don't understand.
Right.
How does communism differ from socialism? Okay? How are they different?
Right, right. You want healthcare and housing and
There's a guy, I saw a picture, there's a car called the Bugatti Veyron, which is built by Volkswagen. It's like the most ultimate possible street car. They sell for $1.5 million, and you can't just go buy it when you have the approved.
yeah. That's well. So my point about bringing up, I mean that is new and that is very and it's like soul nourishing for me to have experienced that Saturday. But the reason I brought it up is because at one point during the initial presentation, when they started talking about operational security, I guess at protests maybe like wearing masks or something along that, I raised my hand and I asked, at what point do we need to start making sure we either leave our phones at home or turn them off before we come to these kinds of meetings? And then it just started this discussion, and then I felt bad for bringing it up, and afterward I apologized to the presenter, the host. I was like, I didn't mean to. I said, no, that was a good question. But, you know, as soon as I asked it, all these other people were like, well, we can build a Faraday cage. Well, that would never work. And then this and that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I started a shitstorm. I did not mean to do that. I just can't. It just occurred to me, and I'm looking at all of us with our phones in our pockets, thinking, oh, all our phones are on right now. We're sitting here talking about operational security and protests. Maybe we should turn them off. I don't know if that would be suspicious or not, but.
No, the reason I called originally, I called yesterday, is that we got a really busy week. We leave for Germany next Monday. On Wednesday, I'm dropping Gerda off to Andrea. They're going off to North Carolina. Andrea has a client to visit, and Gerda's going to go along for the ride. So Wednesday evening, I'll be in town. I have nothing going on. I'll probably get together for a hamburger or something.
Oh, that would be cool. Heck yeah.
Sometime, after 5 when your workday ends or something like that. And I remember once you went to a place downtown. So if you know of an interesting place, we're going to get a hamburger someplace now. You know the scene much better than me.
Where did we go last time? I can't remember.
It was over near, it was over near Mex. It was kind of a place, sort of a little food court. They had hamburgers and stuff, and a couple of different kinds of food. There was a little food court over there. I want to say, like, when I come home, I go out 5th and Main. It was kind of off of Main Street at East Nashville.
Oh yes, I remember that was yeah, okay. No, yeah, we could find a cooler place than that even, I'm sure.
I live in a food desert in Portland, so there's another place, and the other one is the place that's the food court, kind of the Asian flavored food court, right down near Mex, again on Main Street. But there's a couple of choices, so think about it.
Oh, you're talking about the place that's kind of up above the road? They got.
Yeah, eating there with Gerda, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
And some more, but Gerda's always afraid of Indian food. I'm not. But whatever appeals to you, we'll go someplace and grab a bite and just hang out. Because I'll be in town, like I said, I'll be in town anyway. And it's an evening that I don't take away from my wife because she's not here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate the thought. We should. I mean, if I haven't had Indian food in a long time, and that sounds really good. If you think you would be cool to eat some Indian food, that sounds great.
Yeah, if you know a place that's decent, that's fine. The vegetarian's okay with me, non-vegetarian, I don't care. Yes, I like Indian food.
Do you ever have you been to the farmers market where the Bicentennial Mall?
Yeah, by the museum. By the museum.
Have you gone there to eat before?
Yeah, but I would feed you with my grandson. But I mean, that's another option. We can drive up there too. That's fine.
They've got a good Indian place there. I don't know what are you dropping Gerda off with your daughter at TSU? Oh, okay. So you're coming into town. We can go anywhere.
Yeah, we go anywhere. Yeah,
Okay. It's not like we're trying to get in the North Nashville area necessarily,
It
but
doesn't matter. It's really funny. I mean, you know what a cricket is? It's a thing that crafters use, a cricket.
yeah.